Hello, welcome to RPG Major, an actual play podcast where some of Seattle's funniest improv comedians play a role-playing game. In addition to solving mysteries and cracking jokes, the players will be improvising songs with the help of our incredible accompanist Noah, who's improvising just like the rest of us. We'll be playing using the Genesys RPG system. If you've never heard of Genesys, that's okay. You don't need to know how to play to enjoy listening. In fact, if you're looking for a podcast that's going to focus on always getting the rules right, this ain't it. If you've played other role-playing games, Genesys should feel familiar. Still, we don't want you to feel lost, so we're going to do our best to explain how the game works as we play. You can't have a game without players, so let's meet the cast. My name is Helix, pronounce he, him, and I am so thrilled to be running this game for you all.
I am Lauren Drake, pronouns she, her, and I'm also so freaking excited.
Yeah, I'm...
Top that.
Yeah, okay. All right. I'm AJ Krumley, pronouns he, they, and I'm so heckin' excited. Wow.
Dang, you topped it. You did it. You invoked Canadian.
No, what expletives have already been used?
Freaking and heckin'.
Freaking and heckin'. Okay. My name is Camilla, pronouns she, her, and I'm just really gosh darn excited about this.
And
I just lost 10 grand.
Yeah. That's third place. What does that feel like?
That's the most vulgar anyone's ever been. I've done it. Thank you.
So I'm curious, y'all. Since we're about to be playing an RPG, what is the first RPG that you ever played? What hooked you about this whole thing?
Oh, I will start. Yeah. The first tabletop game I played was called Mouse Guard. And I started playing maybe in 5th grade at a summer camp at a store that sold games near my house. And what I loved about it was the sort of magical woodland setting, and also that as a system, it has a lot of fun mechanics for failure. And so it felt like if you did badly at something, interesting things would still happen. And that was such a delight. And over the years, I've tried out a bunch of other systems. Now I run a lot of stuff in 5e, but I really have a soft spot for those little mouse and the little mice and their tiny swords.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And honestly, that interesting things happening when failures occur is one of the reasons that I love this system, right? It sort of has a non-binary result system where you can fail but still accrue advantages, or you can succeed and still have threats to your characters pop up.
To paint a picture, we have 6 different kinds of dice in front of us. They all have arcane runes on them in different combinations that mean different things in different combinations.
AJ, what was your first RPG?
My first RPG was the Marvel RPG, but the one based on percentiles and a success graph. So you needed a graph to play it. And you roll a percentile, and based on like how well you did, based on the skill of it, you had like chances of success on that percentage. Really fun, really interesting, like for a powerful game where you are just describing like the thing you're doing, and then if it's successful or not is really fun. In one of my very first campaigns, playing with my core friend group, we were going up against Jason Stryker, who is a bad guy. He's a mutant in the X-Men universe, and his code name or like his prisoner number was number 143. So he was trapping them in like a mental jail, and the only way they could tell if they were in the mental jail or the real world was all the clocks said 143. And that has become like a running joke for us now. Anytime the clock is 1:43, we stop and wait for a minute until it goes through again. If we ever see 1:43 in the wild, we go and attack it.
Nice.
And then my comedy sports number, come see me every Friday or Saturday night in Seattle's Comedy Sports.
Smooth. Good segue.
It's also 1:43.
Lauren, what about yours?
This one!
Yeah!
Genesys, brought to you by, what was it, Edge Studios? Yeah.
Private equity. I mean, screw private equity. I'm going to edit that out.
Dang!
We need like a
Heckin' private equity.
Yeah, censor. Yeah, but I have not played any game like this before. I've had a lot of secondhand exposure to D&D happening around me, and have always been told that it would be bucket loads of fun, and you betcha. I'll sign off on that.
Yeah, my own entree was through D&D 4th edition. A buddy of mine in college had been running a game for years and years, and invited me to jump in on the last game that he was going to be running for his group. Not knowing that I'm a little chaos gremlin.
We're under attack.
That was serendipitous. That chaos, and then that happened. Anyway.
And so at the end of the session, when the group accomplished what they needed to do and he gave them a wish, not knowing that this was a big deal for the group, my big dumb character jumped forward and said, "Really big sword!" And the wish was wasted, and he got a very big sword.
Did he use it appropriately?
I don't think that's a waste.
Whoa.
Think of how many mice it would take to wield that sword.
So many mice.
So many mice.
I bet you'd take Jason Stryker down in a heartbeat.
Would you rather fight 100 mice with
one big sword,
or
100 mice with tiny swords each?
Yeah.
I would.
That's rhetorical.
I don't think they could handle the big sword.
No, yeah.
I don't
Have you
know.
not
Never
read The Tale of
underestimate. Never underestimate the power of teamwork. Is what I'm saying.
To get us into the game, let's sing a song about the place where you all work. Thorne Investigations.
Welcome to Thorne Investigations.
Right this way. Have a seat.
If you got a question, we'll give you an answer.
Is it a lost dog this week?
Welcome to Thorne Investigations.
Yeah. If you got a question,
If you've got a question,
we'll give you an answer.
On the second floor, above the chilly pavilion, there's a little office that helps find dogs and lost children. There's plants across the desks. There's books all over the shelves. When we're not looking for your stuff, we're probably looking within ourselves. Oh, welcome to Thorne Investigation. Yeah.
If you got a question, we'll give you an answer.
Welcome to Thorne Investigations. If you've got a question, we'll give you an answer.
Thorne Investigations cannot be held responsible for any missing or exploited children.
So we find ourselves in this office. It smells of chili because of what's cooking down below, which I think is an upside.
That's a blessing.
Yeah.
Just a lovely evolving smell that you get to enjoy all day.
Absolutely why we signed the lease.
Who are your characters? What are they up to as you're sort of hanging out waiting for a client to drop by?
Mara Vertere, she is not sitting down, because if she had the choice, she would be standing up doing something at all times. At this point, she is cleaning the windows, making them shine, making them look all nice, and looking out to see that there are people walking by, but they're not coming in, and that is perplexing to her.
Do you want to give her how would you describe how she looks?
Yes, Mara, she's about 5'6", want to say, like pretty classic build, just, cool, sweet gal. She's got like a cool, like leather trench coat, and you wouldn't know it, but that thing is really expensive. Like, it's nice. It is Italian. It is designer. And she is not showing that label to anyone. Although it's nice though, and she wears it all the time. She's got some cool boots, some expertly tailored jeans, and just, rockin' bod. Good for her.
Good for her.
You know what? Good for her.
Good for her.
She worked hard for that.
Yeah.
Did she? I mean,
Did
I
she?
mean, she's incredibly wealthy.
she is so, yeah, but she does not want you to know that. Jeez. Yeah. Keep that a secret.
Hey, you guys, don't tell anyone.
Don't tell anyone.
Listeners, you are no longer secrecy now.
Yeah. But that's her.
And she's got one more pretty big secret that she keeps.
This is true. And so this is known among her friends to some extent, but her family are kind of the queen pins in the city and are descended from sirens. That's right. Odysseus, Greek, like, tie yourself to that boat because they will sing you into oblivion. Yeah, and so that kind of takes the form nowadays of like this matriarchy that is her family is running behind the scenes that you don't want to know about, and neither does she. She wants out. But that's a story for another time.
Stay tuned.
Keep listening.
We might explore that. We'll see.
Maybe we will.
It's never gonna come up.
Right.
That's it.
Absolutely never.
Last time you'll hear from
Yeah,
Mara.
great family dynamic. She loves her mother. Moving on.
Morgan Thorne goes by Thorne. If you call them Morgan, we're going to have problems. Thorne is 5 feet even, but their driver's license says 4'12". They were born a human. They were born a human man, and over time they experimented with some magic, and through some crazy circumstances are now stuck as a satyr after finding some ancient texts and trying to decipher the text. They accidentally said an incantation that has stuck them as a satyr. Despite many, many attempts to become something else, they will become something else for a short amount of time, and then when they revert, they're right back as a satyr. So they're standing over in the corner of the room practicing kicking their punching bag.
There's a visual bit happening in the room here where AJ is kicking backwards.
Extremely cool. Yeah, 5'11", has a shag like Kate Bush in the Wuthering Heights music video. It's Aubrey Stump.
Yes.
Landscaper by day, private investigator also by day. She is wearing work pants and utility boots and a faded Hawaiian shirt. She's got a botanical tattoo sleeve with marigolds and snapdragons and coxcomb flowers. And right now she's probably sitting cross-legged on the floor of the Thorne Investigations office with some little plans of different gardens. Mostly probably, this one's for probably a Verite aunt, one of Mara's extended family members. And she's just trying to figure out where the flowers should go, where the vegetables are gonna go. Planting season's coming up, and those, they have high standards and they are well-paying clients, and so this garden has got to look great. But other than that, she's just a normal human and nothing weird has ever happened to her. Don't ask her about it. Haha. Garden time.
Yeah.
Secrets.
Yeah, it sounds like she's got a secret, but
Nope.
if she's not telling, then she's not telling.
That's
Right.
it. Not my story.
Yeah.
She's always been an open book. That's sarcasm.
So the three of you just finished off a case. What was the last case that you just closed yesterday?
Well, there was that the fisherman. He wore the red and white striped sweater and ball cap.
It's a tragic outfit, but yeah.
I mean, Gary Waldo. He had gone missing.
He gone missing. And the bummer is that it was during Crab Pot Fest, and everyone was wearing similar but slightly different sweaters. And oh boy, were we running around, grabbing people by the shoulders, turning them around, only to realize it was not the guy we were looking for.
Well, and luckily, we were able to climb up kind of onto the overpass to get a bird's eye view of the situation and find him that way.
Yeah, put a coin in one of those old viewfinders.
Yes,
Yep.
yeah. And so there he was, but geez, kind of a hassle for...
It was. And by the time when we climbed down and had to chase him across the way, it's like he was actively trying to flee us.
Right.
But we got his knees, and now he's in jail.
Wait. Right.
I got his knees. Sorry.
Yeah.
That's right. You may have heard Siren and Satyr and Perfectly Normal Human and thought, hey, this is a fantasy setting. No, my friends, we are in Foxglove, a city in the Pacific Northwest of the United States in the early 1980s, before the internet brought us all down. And so having a weird viewfinder that you put a quarter into, that's a thing. Also overpasses. And offices being above chili restaurants. You're all hanging out, doing your thing, planning your gardens, maybe shaving your legs for the second time for the day, rearranging the plants in the front window. Yeah. When there is a ding-a-ling at the front door, as someone has climbed up your exterior wooden steps and opened up the door to Thorne Investigations.
I very quickly throw my ball cap on to cover my 2 nubby little horns on the top of my head.
In walks a man. He's about 6'2", in his mid-30s. He looks fit. He's got a bigger beard and long, dirty blonde hair that is pulled back into a bun. It says, Thorne Investigations?
Yes. Hi. Welcome in. You're in the right spot. Sorry, let me put my cleaning tools away. Mara is putting her duster into the jacket pocket and is blushing because she finds this man very attractive. Hi. How can we help you?
I'm hoping that you can help me. He goes into his briefcase that he's carrying, sets it down on the desk, flips it open, pulls out a photograph of himself with his arm sort of out, and looks like it should be hooked around someone, but there's nobody else there. It's as if he posed for a picture by himself in front of the fisherman's wharf, as if there should have been someone else there. My house is filled with these. There's pictures of just me posed like I should be with somebody else. But I don't remember taking the pictures. I don't remember any of these things. The decor in my home is not what I would have chosen for myself, but I know that I've lived there for 5 years. This is weirding me out. I don't know what's going on. I would like you to help me understand what's going on.
Aubrey has, in this time, quickly sort of gathered up all the different pieces of paper from the floor into a little pile and goes over to Mara to sort of back her up on the professionalism front. Says, I understand why you're concerned and upset by this. We will look into it right away, and I have full confidence we will figure out what's going on.
Yes, so just to be clear, sir, you have no memory of the decor in your house changing,
No.
and no memory of these photographs, even though that's you, very conscious in these photographs.
Yeah, and wearing an outfit that I own.
That you own. Interesting. Well, can I ask your name, sir?
Oh, excuse me, that's how rude of me. Alex Dinney. And he puts out his hand to shake.
Nice to meet you, Alex. Okay, well, yes, we will get working on this for you. Is there anything else you can tell us, or is this kind of the whole situation?
I mean, you're welcome to come and look around my house. I'm happy to help you in any way that I can, but I don't know what to do here.
Thorne, who has not stopped kicking the bag, just alternating legs, pipes up and says, hey, Alex? Weird question.
You can call me Denny.
Denny, do you bleed?
I'm sorry?
Continues to kick. Have you bled recently?
I mean, I cut myself shaving the other day.
And you bled?
Yes.
And it was red?
Yes.
All right. I got nothing.
Could I take a look? Does this fellow have an engagement or wedding ring on either hand?
Give me a perception roll.
Okay.
Because, I mean, looking at him, he doesn't have a ring, but please make a roll. This is just going to be against 2.
Okay.
So in Genesys, for those who have never played it, it's a great system. The difficulty of rolls is set by the difficulty of a task, but instead of rolling against a numbered target like you might in D&D, you build a dice pool, putting your stat in cunning, in this case, and your skill points in perception, rolling that against a number of dice that represent the difficulty.
Yeah, should I talk through what I'm about to roll?
Please do.
Just for fun?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Aubrey has 2 in cunning. but has 1 rank in perception. So she's rolling 2 dice, but one of them is a little bit better. And because my buddy Thorne has a special talent that makes their friends more perceptive, I'm adding some little advantage dice to that. I'm rolling it against 2 purple challenge dice for the difficulty level. Amazing.
Amazing.
Yeah, this is a pretty good roll. So I'm counting out and canceling out the successes and failures, and then also the threats and advantages, which are sort of like the smaller things. And when we're done, I have 2 successes and 1 advantage.
Lovely.
Which is pretty perceptive. Thank you, Thorne.
He is not wearing a ring. He's a fairly, like, his skin is fairly tanned. He looks to be someone who spends a decent amount of time outdoors. It's not like the area where a ring would be is bone white compared to the rest of his tan, but you can see that there's a slight indentation as if a ring had been worn there for a long time, and the skin is slightly lighter there.
Yeah, Aubrey.
You also had an advantage off of that roll, so if you want to add something else that is true about him or the scene, you can do that.
Interesting. Does anyone else have ideas?
We have no recognition and connection to this man at all. We've never seen him before.
I don't think so.
Do you want to establish that maybe you've run into him at a coffee shop before?
Yes.
Oh, that explains the crush.
Yes. Yes. Because also if he's got the build that he does, and like the sandy blonde makes me think maybe some connection to Out in the Sun. So I think, yeah, we've run into each other. Yeah, let's say coffee shop. He's my secret coffee shop crush that I've talked to you about.
The coffee shop where you've run into him is sort of on the border between Greencliff and Cliffside, where he has been your coffee shop crush. One of those brand new to Foxglove places that actually roasts their beans somewhat lightly. This is a brand new concept in the 80s. Instead of just cooking the heck out of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Aubrey, I have seen him there, and he has not noticed me to my knowledge, because not trying to speak out of my ass here, but if he had, I feel like I would have had a shot. Anyway, yeah, and that's over in Greencliff.
Yeah, and you have not seen him there in the last 2 or 3 months.
Okay.
Ooh. Aubrey really wants to sidebar with her friends because she wants to talk about some suspicions without freaking out this guy. But
can I do a charm?
Aggressively sidebarring feels like it would freak him out too.
Yeah, maybe I can charm and buy us some time.
For sure.
Okay, is that a roll I can do?
Yeah. What are you trying to convince him to do?
Just
hang out in the bathroom for a little bit.
Or maybe if I can flirt with, maybe he can come grab us some coffees, because I know that he does drink that. Give him a little flirt moment and ask him if he can go grab that while we look these over and talk amongst ourselves.
Yeah, that's just going to be against 1.
Gorgeous. Okay.
And we could maybe make plans to meet at
the pavilion,
or his apartment later today.
Oh.
We could try to meet him there and take a look around, since that was so kindly offered.
Okay, then yeah, if he could, we will meet him back. Maybe he can pick up some, or not even anything.
Yeah. I mean, if you guys want to have a conversation and then maybe ask him more questions now, or if you just want to send him home so that you can talk about him as you drive over to his house.
What do y'all think?
Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Let's send him out of here.
Yeah. I don't think you even need to roll for that.
Oh, lovely. Okay.
Like, your interests are aligned, so you're not.
Aligned.
He's not opposing you. He gives you his business card. He flips it over and writes his home address and phone number on the back as well, and hands it to Mara, since you've been doing most of the talking. And he heads home.
Oh, this is not great.
Spill. What are you thinking, Aubrey?
Okay, I'm sorry to tell you this in advance, Mara, but I think that he might already have someone either in his life or in his life until recently.
This always happens to me.
Has disappeared not only from everywhere, but also from memories and photos.
Oh.
He had a ring on.
So it sounds like you have a chance.
Yeah. Oh, don't give me hope, Thorne. Jeez.
If we want to do our job successfully, you might not
Just
have
put it
a
on the
chance.
side. That's fine. I find these new crushes all the time. It's okay. I can be professional.
The partner could be dead.
I'm getting so many mixed signals here. It's awesome. Okay, no. Great, that's fine. You know, business before pleasure. Always. That's been my motto, right? Except for that one time.
And the time before that.
Yeah, great.
Business before
Business
pleasure.
before pleasure is kind of what I believe in, and I'd love to sing about it. As a woman in this field, there's only so many things you can outwardly feel.
Don't let it show.
If you think a client is hot, chances are he's probably not. You just gotta help him find his disappearing wife. Business over pleasure, something to remember.
Something to remember.
Lovely.
Hell yeah. So what are y'all up to next?
Do we go straight to the house?
Well, I'm trying to think about. So you're saying that he has had a longtime partner, whoever this person is, living or dead, great or terrible, and they just disappeared. I mean, what would even cause that?
I mean, when you because it's been a few months since you've seen him.
Right.
When you last saw him, did you not check the ring jar to see if he was married?
Hasn't stopped me before.
And that's why we're friends.
Yeah. All right.
When I think of what could cause someone to vanish from memories, and you can check me on this, but my first instinct would be like a cavern that has stalagmites and stalactites like teeth. You know, the cavern of recollection. And if you go into it, it eats you and you become vanished from the outside world. That would be my number one kind of frame of reference for that.
That's the funniest thing.
But it could be something else. It could be that they didn't get eaten by a cave.
Right.
Thorne is just sitting there, just mouth open. Yeah.
I'm trying so hard. Mara's gonna try so hard not to step on her idea. That is so helpful and gorgeous, beautiful. Thorne, you would use the same words, I'm guessing.
I would love to see this cave.
Okay.
You
Unless
wouldn't
you
because it whispers sweet nothings to draw you in.
Oh, so she was unfaithful. Anyway, sorry. Okay, well, if we've got Cave Eaten as our lead, do we need to do anything else before we head over to that house and take a look around?
Should put on pants.
Okay, great. Aubrey, can you drive?
Yeah,
It's kind of far, up the cliffs.
that's okay.
You sure?
Yeah, the truck can handle it if you're not embarrassed to be seen in the landscaping truck in a fancy neighborhood.
I didn't think about that. I'll meet you guys there.
Okay.
You know, we talked about putting the Thorne logo on the side next to the landscaping logo. Do you think we can get any action on that? Or?
If you make a decal or want to airbrush it, I trust your creative instincts completely.
Nice.
That's your first mistake.
I imagine the car door shuts and it's a very, like the camera cuts to a car door shutting and a very hastily hand-painted Thorne investigations on the side right underneath the landscaping logo.
We see, it's a sort of dark green flatbed pickup truck. It has one sort of thoughtful but very simple logo, Snapdragon Landscaping, and next to it, almost like street art, sort of stenciled on, is what is it? Thorne Investigations.
The landscaping trucks in my neighborhood in real life just do it with like address letters, so I think that is a secondary if we want to upgrade it.
And in the back of the shot, you see Mars Porsche whip around and speed up the hill.
You talking a turbo?
Yeah.
A 1980.
Yeah, like a cute one. It's cute.
Oh.
What color?
A Porsche cute one.
Yeah, a cute one. It's black.
Oh, of course it is. Why would I even ask?
Right.
He gave you his address on his business card. One detail I neglected to mention, the front of the business card gives you his business address and phone, as well as his title as Director of Development at the Foxglove Zoo.
Not the zoo.
Mara, you would know immediately from your family's connections that Director of Development in this context means the person responsible for going
Getting in new animals.
out and getting large donations of money from wealthy patrons. Development in a nonprofit context.
Ew. Okay, good to know. Do with that what I will.
Yeah.
Is the zoo famously our nemesis? Have we decided on that?
I hate the zoo.
It's a milestone to being a real investigation agency that we have a nemesis.
Mm-hmm.
So
The zoo is our
let's
scrappy
pretend, let's maybe try the zoo for today. And if it works, then they could be our forever nemesis.
Okay.
Deal.
And I believe that they have approached my family before. We have no interest in supporting the zoo. At all. That's not where our money goes.
I hope this works out, because prior to today, my nemesis has been 4 hours after eating chili.
Aubrey thinks through a bunch of nemesis she's had over the years and decides not to name any of them.
Is the cave
It's
on
the
there?
cave.
The cave. It's the pipe organ that steals your voice.
Right.
It's the sea serpent, SEE, that can only attack you if you're looking at it, but everyone thought it was in a lake. And it traveled by sea, but it travels by land. It led to so much confusion, and we had to explain it every time.
Mara's list of nemesis are mostly city council people.
Same. Oh, those are AJ's. Sorry.
Cool.
So you drive separately over to Denny's home. Camilla, you said apartment, but when you pull up, it's not an apartment building, but rather a beautifully maintained craftsman home that is right next to Cemetery Park. Like his backyard touches Cemetery Park in that sort of rad thing that people who live near a national forest sometimes just have an infinite backyard.
Infinite cemetery.
There's a nice park around.
Congratulations.
For the listeners, Cemetery Park is a sort of central park-sized park that started off with the cemetery, and the plan was to just have cemetery sort of line the edge of the park and keep the center of it for public use. But at some point, the cemetery completed a ring around the entire park, and now very few people go in and use the park.
Spooky.
As you all are kind of parallel parking, I speed up and pass you and take your spot.
I parallel park so slowly.
Well, this is nice.
It's rare we get out to the park anymore.
Yep.
I've been asking for you guys to go to the park with me and let me run around, but
It just kind of gives me weird vibes. I don't know.
letting me run around?
No, the dead people. But yeah,
Oh.
now that you mention it.
It's interesting because when I think of the weird parks in town, this is lower on the list.
I guess that's true.
We live really nearby the one
ruins?
with the castle and the spooky
Yeah.
ookie.
You're right. Okay, well, should we go knock?
Sure.
You guys go knock. And maybe I just do a quick walk around.
Yeah.
Just
You're
see.
just trying to run
Is it a
around in the
2-car
park.
garage? Is it a...
No, they're trying to run around in the park.
And maybe, maybe I also do a lap or 3 around the house.
Okay. You do your thing, man.
Go for it.
So yeah, that Thorne is going to try to do like a stealthier peek around the perimeter while they are talking to.
To Dinny.
Yeah. What are you doing? What are you trying to accomplish?
If I can get a peek inside from the outside, like maybe not the front way, like what they're going to see. He said we could walk around, so I don't think he won't let us walk around. I'm just curious what we could see. And if it is like 2-car garage, I'm looking for signs of life that are specifically. So Thorne's suspicion is this person was not married at the time that you knew him. And in the last few months, developed a very intimate personal relationship with somebody. And then that person has since completely disappeared. And now he is back to this. That's the lead Thorne's working. So he's trying to see if there Is signs of permanent residence of a second person here? Like, did they account for a 2-car garage, or is it a 1-car garage that they just made work, you know?
Yeah.
So that's what Thorne's looking for.
Okay.
Go ahead and roll me a perception against 2. 2 purple.
Do I get 2 blue? Oh no, I'm by myself.
That looks like... Yeah, those guys cancel out.
So 1 success.
1 success. So you are sneakily walking around the house, peeking in the windows. You kind of have to jump to see in them because...
I'm 412.
You're 412. You see a place that is well decorated. Like, it's tasteful. It's very modern to the 80s. There's a glass top dining table in the dining room. The kitchen is all done in light blue tiles for the countertop. Very modern. You don't really notice anything out of place. It's not a super masculine styled home. He presented as very straightforward hetero-mask guy. You wouldn't expect that to be the only energy based on the decor that you see from the outside. When you go around the house into the backyard, the thing that you notice is leaning up against the detached 1-car garage is a board with little handholds on it that you would think someone would use to practice climbing.
I go to inspect it, see if it looks like it would bear weight.
It certainly does.
And I practice climbing in a goat-like fashion. So not using my hands at all. And I just get to the top of this thing.
Yeah, give me an athletics check here.
Hey, I'm athletic. Success and advantage?
Go ahead and roll a purple dice along with that because you just rolled the good dice. Okay, so success and a threat.
I liked the other one more.
I mean, this is not a particularly difficult task. You hop up to the top, and what you I'll say the threat is that at that moment, Denny is welcoming his guests back in, and he's just like got them in the kitchen, which is the back of the house, and is pouring them each a glass of water. His guests being, of course, Mara and Aubrey. And so he sees you climbing this thing and just kind of cocks his head at you.
Mara puts her face in
Hey. I just give a wave, like, oh.
Mara quickly butts in. Sorry, Denny, Thorne loves rock climbing. Just loves it. Absolutely adores it. Any chance
me
they
too.
can get. Really?
Yeah, well, I mean, that's why I have that out back.
That's yours?
Mm-hmm.
Did you build that?
I did.
That's impressive.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Sorry.
Yeah, it's nice to have a project, right?
Of course, I think so. It looks like a lot of you were saying the decor, so this isn't a project that you remember. It looks like there's a lot of renovations done.
Yes. I mean, the kitchen's set up great. Love it. Mm-hmm. This feels very much mine. I hate this dining table. I would never have chosen this dining table. I hate it. I do not know who painted this. And he points to a landscape scene of waves crashing at Olympic National Park against some of the sea stacks. It's not bad, but it's also... This is more my style, and he points to a sort of abstract geometric piece of art hanging on the opposite side of the same window.
Aubrey reaches a hand out towards the national park painting just to see if her hand goes through and she gets sucked in.
Her hand meets canvas. And
Okay,
oil paint.
phew. You can't be too careful, I say to everyone.
Interesting. What made you choose this more abstract painting over the sea? I happen to love everything involving water myself.
Oh, I mean, I love being on the water, but I'd rather just be there in person than have it painted, you know?
Sure. Oh, me too. I'm trying to rate it in.
There's something about the way these colors just sit next to each other. I don't know. You know, with abstract, it's just the way that it hits you, right? And it's like it's not a field of flowers in spring, but every time I look at it, I feel like I'm seeing a field of tulips in the spring.
That's beautiful. I feel a kick underneath the table.
Aubrey would kick you, but she's engrossed by trying to understand the abstract painting now.
Oh, right. Then I'm just imagining that. I'm sorry. I'm kicking myself.
Yeah, that did happen.
She notices you looking at her and remembers to give you a kick under the table.
Well, Denny, can we have a look upstairs? Is that intruding too much?
No, please. Would you like me to show you around, or do you want to just look around?
I look at Aubrey, kind of silent communication talent to her, asking me to give me a thumbs up if we want to be alone and thumbs down if he wants to come with.
Thumbs down for now. He can. I want to ask some more questions. Okay. Yeah.
Well, we'd love it if you give us the grand tour.
Well, of course. And he brings you up the staircase. The top floor of this house makes full use of the space of the house. It has sort of built up under the slanting roof, and so at the edges of the room, it's, shorter. Yeah. And so a tall person like him might have to sort of lean a little bit at the top of the stairs, and it's just one giant open space up in the top floor. There is a king-sized bed at the far end with, again, this sort of ultra-modern aesthetic headboard to it. Again, glass supported by steel, very much the same style as the table downstairs. There's a mixture of art. Like this place is decorated densely. There's not a lot of white space between pieces of art that are hanging. There's sort of more of an animal theme happening up on this floor. Pictures of megafauna, specifically giraffes, bison, elephants, lions,
moose,
absolutely. There's one with a whale, like a large format printed photograph of a humpback whale breaching and blowing out of its blowhole.
The cave is a whale now.
I'm sorry?
Sorry to ask this, but I happened to notice that you had a little impression around your finger. Were you previously engaged or in a relationship, or do you know what ring I'm talking about?
He looks confused, looks at his own hand, says, I've been single for the last 8 years.
Mara tries to contain a smile.
I'm not sure what you're talking about. He's looking at his hand.
Do you notice there's a little dent?
I think you're imagining things, miss.
Okay. I might be. That's not uncommon. Aubrey steadies herself a little bit at the accusation, but this guy seems nice enough and is going through it. Do you think it's possible, given that in the photos you seem to have your hand out around someone, that the photo was taken with someone that now isn't showing up? That there was someone who lived here that's not showing up?
This look of intense confusion crosses his face. How you would have to paint every photograph to hide someone? How would that, how could that happen?
I don't know. It doesn't seem weirder than taking a lot of photos with your arm around nothing.
Which she doesn't mean to be accusatory in any sort of way. But I also noticed, you commented on the table downstairs, and you weren't such a big fan of that decor. It was glass. This bed frame is the same way. And
yeah, I don't remember buying it.
Of course, no. Why would you if you didn't like it?
But I remember sleeping on it for years.
Oh, so you do remember? There aren't patches in your memory at all.
I think I remember everything just as well as anyone else does.
Right. Okay.
In the gallery walls, are there any paintings or photographs, places where something would have been that now is not? I'm looking for evidence maybe of a painting that someone did that doesn't exist anymore, or maybe if there's a signature on a painting or photograph that is gone where there should be one.
Give me a perception roll against 3? I'm going to say 3.
Okay. I would love to spend a story point to upgrade that if I could.
Yeah, in fact, that's a good reminder for us to roll these.
Yes.
In Genesys, there is a meta currency of of advantages that flow back and forth between the players and the GM. They're called story points. The way that we set ours in this group, as we roll a set of dice, those that come up odd start in the GM's favor. Those that start even start in the player's favor. When the players spend it, it goes into the GM's pool to be available for use. And when I spend it, it becomes available for the players.
I'm taking an advantage now, but giving Helix an advantage later.
Yeah, looks like you start off with 2.
All right. Cool. Well, soon you're going to get 3. And I upgrade this die, right?
Yeah.
Okay. It's still not looking likely, friends, but we'll see.
Ooh.
Oh!
That's a good one.
Oh, thank you, dice. That is 2 successes and 1 threat.
Oh.
Ooh. I'm not sure what the threat would be here.
The paintings are too good. They make me think about myself and my relationship to abstract art.
Makes you start questioning if you have someone that has fallen out of your life.
Yeah, there are a few of the images on this level are photographs of fauna, right, of the megafauna. As you lean in close to each of those, there is a signature that seems to have been smudged out.
They're photographs, these.
Mm-hmm.
They are?
Yeah. I sort of look to Mara, not knowing quite how to raise the subject without creating more tension. And just gesture, start doing sort of head charades, nodding at the wall over and over. I can't communicate subtly like she can.
Oh, Denny, are you a photographer? Did you take these photos?
No, I spend most of my time talking to people. That's my gift.
Oh, that's so charming.
I shake my hand and do an X sign, and I try to do charades, the outline of a person, but then X because they're gone. Arm over, and I gesture to the person that my arm would be over, but they're not there. And then I gesture to try to mime someone taking a photo with a camera. And then I do like magician hands.
Did he just looking out the window this whole time?
Yeah. Would it be possible that, say we were kind of to follow the theory that maybe someone was a part of your life and somehow disappeared, could they have been connected to these photos? It looks like...
They were a wildlife photographer for the zoo. You probably worked together.
I'm confused by the words you're saying to me. How could I have lost so much memory? You think I was living in this old house by myself? I wouldn't know. You think if there was someone else here that I wouldn't remember them go. What are you trying to say about my mind? Are you saying that my memories are not mine? What are you trying to say about my mind? Are you trying to say these memories are not mine? I'm sorry. I'm getting a really intense headache. You're welcome to look around the house. Please lock the front door as you're on your way out.
Of course.
Yeah. Okay. Slip out.
Thorne opens the garage door.
There is a luxury sedan in there. It is black. It is last year's model.
Copperado.
Last year's Copperado.
It's like a Silverado.
Last year's Copperado.
It's copper. It's not as good.
It's a sedan, not a truck.
Similar to how this house in this neighborhood is a sign of status, the car is also a sign of status. It fits.
Who's it registered to?
How would you know? You can take down the license plate.
Is there no registration in the glove box?
Oh, the car's locked.
When's that been a problem?
Do you want to pop the door open? Do you want to go inside and ask him for his keys?
I don't know that.
Are there keys
You
on the...
can always try and pop the door.
Oh, yeah, well, I also got hooves, you know.
Whoa, let's not ruin the car.
All right, fine.
If you want to pick the lock, I think that is a skullduggery check. If you want to kick it open, if you want to kick through the glass, that would be a brawl.
Oh, he would hate us if the alarm went off, right? Yeah, I think skullduggery, you say. I think I'll try picking the lock first. Mm-hmm. Why not? What's it against?
It's an average quality lock. That'll be 2.
I don't do it.
Yeah.
What's the worst going to happen? You just kick it open.
The locks that you've spent most of your time practicing are doors on buildings, and those are just laid out differently. Right? There's usually one set of tumblers on those, where in a car lock there's usually 2 sets of tumblers. You're working at different things.
Mm-hmm.
Can I know someone who runs license plates? I know someone in the police force.
You absolutely know someone at the police force.
Mm-hmm.
What do they owe you a favor for that would let this be true? And are you willing to move that dice over into my side for that to be the case?
Oh, then we would have none.
I'll go for it. Go for it.
So,
Yeah.
or should we go to the zoo first?
I mean, I think we're going to run in the same situation where we are just going to find further confirmation that someone has been erased.
It's blurry.
Yeah. And the way to find out maybe who that is going to the zoo.
Yeah, it's a good call.
We're going to put a pin in that, and we're going to go to the zoo.
Okay.
Okay.
As we sort of finish up looking around the house and gather back, I think that Mara and Thorne would be able to see that Aubrey's kind of deep in thought, just sort of a little bit tense, a little bit withdrawn.
I try to offer my hand to Aubrey's shoulder. Hey, that kind of intense in there for you? Are you okay?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I just feel really, really bad for the guy and for whoever this is, and I don't like telling people that I don't believe them about weird stuff going on, because when I got back from the Autumn Lands, I got that a lot. And I also, I don't know, if I hadn't ended up falling back here through a portal in the woods, you know, would everyone here just have forgotten about me? Would I have disappeared from all the photos?
So do you think it's more of an accident that happened to this person, or maybe an outside force contributing to their disappearance?
I would say it's an accident, but because the zoo's involved, I don't know.
It gets much more sinister when the zoo's involved. They ask us to trust. They ask us to trust. It's just a zoo. Don't you worry, my friends. Deliver us your trust. But we all know the truth of the situation is this. The zoo ain't got nothing for me or you. The zoo's got secrets and lies.
There's something afoot at the zoo. That something goes roar and goes woof. There's something afoot at the zoo. Or should I say it's a hoof? Oh, there's something afoot at the zoo. That something goes roar and goes woof. There's something afoot at the zoo. Or should I say something a hoof?
Something's a hoof.
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 I just gave Camilla a guitar pick.
Thank you so
Because
much.
that was killer. Something's a hoof.
Something's a hoof.
So at this
It's
table,
got a little turtle on it.
we give each other guitar picks as hell yes. Those guitar picks function identically to hero points, or to story points, excuse me, except they never go into my pool. So that is available for Camilla to spend at any time for any purpose. This is just something that I
Love it.
I love the dynamic of players being on each other's side at a table.
Yes.
So
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm going to use this to get such a good discount at the gift shop.
You know those are real animals that they sell, not stuffed. Okay, anyway, sorry. It's a joke. If y'all don't mind, I don't really want to leave my car in the zoo parking lot. Can I ride with y'all over there?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, cool. And just know that I wasn't there for you then, but I'm here for you now, Aubrey. Anytime you need to talk about anything, don't keep it in.
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate it. And I know that it's hard to relate because not that many people spend 70 years as the Fey Queen of a fairy domain. So I know it's weird, and I appreciate both of you, and I appreciate that you tell me when my frame of reference is not the common one. But we're all on the same page that the zoo is really, really...
Oh, it sucks.
Yeah, okay.
It's terrible.
Okay, great.
No, and I'm interested to see where this connection goes, because the amount of times I've either had people come in person or send mail to my mother's house asking for this money for this and this money for this about the zoo, and I've never seen her vehemently turn down a opportunity to look good in public opinion for spending her money like she does with the zoo.
And I went once, and they only gave me a medium despite asking for a large.
Welcome. Sorry.
And so our investigators find themselves on a trail that starts at a peculiar pose in a photograph. A trail that smells faintly of manure. We'll find out if the zoo is as bad as everyone says next time on RPG Major. Thanks for joining us for this RPG Major Mystery. You can connect with us and other people who like this oddball little show on our Discord or on social media. You'll find links in our show notes. Mara Vertere is played by unrivaled vocalist Lauren Drake. You can find her in scripted productions around Seattle and performing with Jet City Improv and musical improv team We Have Some Notes. Find her on socials at La La Drake. Aubrey Stump is played by loquacious lyricist Camilla Franklin. Find her performing around Seattle with musical improv team Fancy Cafeteria and on Instagram at Camillastrator. Thorne is played by peerless performer AJ Krumley. You can find them performing in Seattle at Comedy Sports and with Crooked Street Theatrics and Productions. They're on Instagram at Major Fraser. All music for RPG Major is created live in the room by our unmatched accompanist, Noah Samuels. Find him on Instagram at Samuels_Noah. And I'm your GM and host, Helix. You can find me performing with Jet City Improv and musical improv team We Have Some Notes. Connect with me and the show on social media at RPG Major. We'll see you next time.
Earlier, you said you were 70 years old.
Yeah, 70 years in the autumn.
Yeah.
Autumn lands.
I forgot, and my mouth hit the floor because that will change every interaction we have from now on.
Yeah, I love how it's grown from maybe 20 or 30 years.
I was just trying to get it to work with the song.
40 and then 30 more. It was so
The
smart.
way I sort of had it in my head was like that it was like 40 winks, or it's like some weird dimension of time that doesn't really... that is very ambiguous,
yeah.
and so it's like some indeterminate, but then, yeah, in the meter of the song, I was like, Oh no, it's more syllables.
Yeah, I love improvising to find things that are true about characters. That's great.
Yeah. So I'm not like 95 years old.
Captain America.
But I've compartmentalized 70 of them really well.
You're in charge from now on. You're the adult
Seniority.
in the room.
Yeah.
The thing is that all of my work experience is in a very different thing.
Yeah.
Different
It's
feels.
like there's a little bit of a like also like this sort of like gifted kid allegory metaphor thing where it's, as a kid, it's like, wow, you're very special. Like everything you're so good at is so useful and valid. And then it's like, also none of the skills that you learned when we told you were like a magical princess actually apply in the real world.
Yeah. Yep. Wow. Does that ever resonate? Let me tell you.